Hey guys, what's up? Cardhacker here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be going over the Alphamon deck from BT9, and with the new support from X Record, the deck is definitely a contender for the meta right now. So let's get right into the deck. So for the Digitamas, we are running 4 Dorymons from BT7. You can run any other Digitama if you want, but I feel like this one is just the best for the draw power. You can run some Digitamas that give you extra power if you want, but personally I quite like the draws. Next, for the level 7s, we are going to be running 2 Alphamon OURYUKEN. So you can run 3 of these if you want. 2 is, I see currently the top builds are running 2 to 3. I want to run 3 as well, but currently I think the deck space is a little bit tight. But depending if I do more testing and I feel like 3 is more necessary, then I might bump this up to a 3rd one. But 2 is fine for now as well. But this is one of your main win cons. It helps you extend your turn, as well as it just gives you some removal options, and it just lets you get a whole bunch of memory at the end of the turn. So it's pretty good. Obviously his effect is not mandatory. It's you can choose how many you put back into your deck, so you don't have to put your whole stack if you don't want to. And there's always ways to put stuff back into the bottom of your stack, so it's a very flexible card overall. Next, we are going to be running 2 of the new Alphamons. This card is a very fun card to test with. This thing, it can be a double-edged sword if you're playing against X-Antibody decks and you don't have a way to remove the whole Digimon off the board after you Digivolve them. There's going to be a bit of a problem because they can just slap their X-Antibody back on top of their base form, and that'll be kind of counterintuitive, but overall he's still pretty good. He can help you grab a card from your trash and put it back into the stack. So you can grab Ordumons that are dead and just shove it in so that you can Digivolve into OURYUKEN for cheaper. And his Digivolve does really help sometimes against particular matchups, but just not in very heavily focused X-Antibody decks. Next, we are going to be running 2 Alphamons from the BT6. So this one is here as a security bomb, and it helps you extend your turns as well, because when he attacks at the end of the battle, you can get 2 memories. So it's pretty good. It works really well with some of the other cards in this deck. When you attack and Digivolve, you can still proc its effect afterwards because it's not on attack. Next, we are running 4 Ordumon. So this is one of the key cards in this deck. You have to run at least 3 if you want to make this deck work properly, because we are running quite a few Alphamons. So as long as this card's in the stack, you'll be able to unsuspend them. And there's a few ways to do that. First, you can use this to put this back in the bottom. You can use this with your UG to put this in the bottom when you're attacking. And for this one, you can just Digivolve on top of this one. So lots of ways to get this in. It's also very important because there's a lot of removal in this deck in the current meta, and his effect helps you at least prevent some sort of removal. So he's immune to destruction, deletion effects, but he's not immune to DP deduction or bounce. So he's still pretty good. He's very good against those War Greymon and Dukemon decks, as well as purple and mirror matches. So very, very good. If you want to cut this down to 3 and run extra OURYUKEN, that is one of the options you can do. I'll tell you what are some of the other ones afterwards. For level 5s, we are running 1 Greymon. This one I'm just currently testing with. It's not as good as the Hisari Ryumon. That's why I'm running one of these. It's good for searching though, and you can potentially dump some cards that you want to set up in your trash for later. And his inherent skill, it's okay. It pops something cost 5 or less. But it's definitely not the best kind of removal in this deck. He's mainly here just to help you search for Alphamons if you are still stuck at level 5. Next, we are running Dodo Greymons. This is the one from BT7. I think there's only one out so far, but it's a really good card because it gives you extra security checks. This is one of the methods that you can get extra security checks in this deck. And as long as you have your Ordumon in your stack, as well as this, you can just swing for big hits multiple times in your turn. So very, very good. He also prevents destruction if you evolve him into in the main area. He'll be immune to deletion and DP deduction, so pretty good. Of course, you're still prone to bounce, so you gotta watch out for those. Garurumon decks. Next, we are going to be running Hisariumon. So this is the other level 5 that we're going to be running that will help you kind of cheat into your level 6s. But during your turn, if you have a X antibody Digimon put into a stack, then you can Digivolve on top of into an X antibody Digimon for 1 cost less. So what you mainly do is use the Yuji from your BT8, and then you can attack with this and then use Yuji's effect to Digivolve. So it's kind of like running X antibody without running X antibody. And this is, for the most part, the build is actually very similar to the old build in my BT8 video, but there's just a few changes with the new support. So I think if you guys want more information about some of the old cards, you can look at that video instead. Alright, for the level 4s, we are running Dorugamon. So Dorugamon is just a basic blocker and also gives your X antibody Digimon 1000 extra DP during either player's turn as an inherent effect. So it's pretty good. It helps you make your Digimon a lot more tanky and harder to kill. And it helps you hit thresholds that you normally can't. So, very good card. Next, we're running 2 Dex Dorugamon. So Dex Dorugamon is, it doesn't have any inherent source, which is one of the main gripes I have with this card. But on evolution, you can ditch a X antibody card or a card with Dex in his name to get +1 memory. And you can Digivolve on top of Dorugamon for free. And on evolution, you can, if you have Dorugamon or in this case, this deck, the only way you can Digivolve is on top of Dorugamon in order to fulfill this condition. You'll be able to get Blocker and Vengeance. So it's not bad. But the other way you can get the effect is by Digivolving with Trash, which we will use in the Dexmon deck, or the Dex Dorugamon deck that I'll be showing you guys later. But yeah, mainly this is here for you to help you ditch cards for combo plays for when you evolve into the new Alphamon. And getting Vengeance as well as Blocker is actually pretty good as well. It helps stall, so it kind of acts like a Rebellion, which I quite like. And yeah, it is a X antibody card we can run in this set now. Next, we're going to be running 4 Ginryumon. This is the evolution card that helps you get Blocker, or one of the sources that help you get Blocker. Most of the time, you're going to be shoving this into your source manually with Yuji. But yeah, having the blocker ability is pretty important. You can cut this down to 3 if you really want to and run an extra OURYUKEN if you want, if you don't want to cut out the OURYUMon. But yeah, I was testing this at 3 and I kind of like it at 4 or more, but definitely one of the cards that are more flexible in this case. Next, we're running 2 Grumblemon. This is just here for your finisher. Hybrid Digimon are always very welcome in decks, so especially if you're running a lot of Tamers, which this deck is running a decent number of Tamers, so we're running 2 of these instead. Next, for the level 3s, we're running 4 Dorumon. This is the searcher one that helps you look at top 3 and helps you grab an antibody card as well as a Kota. And it also has a very strong inherent effect. It helps you get 1 memory if you add a card to your stack. Next, we're running 4 Ryudamon. This helps you search for top 3 of the cards of your deck as an antibody or a Yuji. So normally, this card, I was going to cut this card out for the new Dorumon, mainly because I don't really like his inherent skill, but the main effect that you want to run him is that he adds Ryuji in your hand, so very, very important. Yuji is definitely still a key part of this deck in order to keep your stack going strong. And next is Sanrizamon. This card is entirely cut out. You can cut this card entirely out for the new Dorumon if you want instead. I'll show you guys how that card looks like later, but mainly this card is just here to help you get some extra security checks if you need it. This deck can still hit the threshold pretty easily, especially if you have OURYUKEN or the OURYUKEN mode. So getting extra security check free, I think, is kind of more beneficial than drawing 2, ditching 1. But I think it's up to you. It's definitely up to you guys, because the Digimon, I was playtesting with it as well, and it's a good card, but I'd rather have the extra check. So if you guys have the budget for it, or you guys like to play a little bit more aggressively, then this card is definitely for you. If you like to grind out a bit more and just potentially have more options in your hand, then the Digimon is definitely the card for you. Next, for the Tamers, we're running 2 Kotas and 4 UGs. Kota's just here for your memory reset. If you feel like you don't get this card enough, then you can cut 1 UG out for another Kota to run 3/3. But personally, I think the UG is a bit more important. Another problem that people have with the Digimon is that it is not an X anybody. So when you move this from your battle area into your battle area, you don't get the bonuses from your UGs. But I think it's a sacrifice worth having. And last but not least, we are running 2 Black Memory Boosts. This is just here for a little bit more consistency, and it helps you extend your turns when you need it. If you don't want to run this card, you can run some removal if you want. Any removal is fine, but I like the Memory Boost. And this deck, it's a little bit tankier than people might think, because this deck's actually running quite a few blockers. So if you don't have any cards in your security that can help you, I think for the most part you'll be fine. You'll be fine unless your opponent swarms you. But if they swarm you, you also have a lot of ways to remove them. So a little bit of back and forth there. But that's it for the main deck. Let's go over some of the options for placements. Alright, so here's some cards that you might potentially want to run also, and there's also a few cards that I don't have with me right now, but you can also run potentially. So X Anybody is an obvious choice when you attack. You can play something, you can Digivolve into the next stage for the cost. Why I don't run this is because Hisariyumon kind of does the same, but some people will run X Anybody because it does give a little bit more flexibility and helps you. You can cut out the Hisariyumon if you want. But I think my current build is a little bit more consistent. People also run Cool Boy. Cool Boy is, honestly, I don't think it's that important in this deck because you don't Digivolve onto the same level too often. The only card that we are running that can do that is the Dex Dorugamon, so that's why. This is the Raptordramon, which is the new level 4 from BT9. I really don't like this card. You can run this if you want to run a full X Anybody level 4 line, but I think this card kind of does the job better because you have the Grademon if you want to run remove for cost 5, but honestly I just don't think this card is that good. If it was cost 7 it might be too good, but cost 5 it's kind of yeah. And last but not least, the Dorumon is obviously on play. You can ditch a X Anybody from your hand, and then you can draw 2. I think in this build, we aren't running too many cards that can help you put cards in your trash back into your source, and so we can't take too much advantage of that. Of course, it is just a card that you can just help you filter your deck, which is also good as well. But again, it's up to you guys. If you guys want to run this over the Digimon, it's definitely a choice for you guys. I just personally like the extra security check more. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Kartaku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!